Any voluntary settlers are desperate and freedom-loving people. Most often, the pioneers of the Wild West were predominantly men. They worked hard, they had money, and they wanted to relax and have fun. The only entertainment was saloons, American bars where they sold cheap beer and whiskey, gambled, made acquaintances, made deals, fought. Saloons sprang up wherever there was a market for whiskey, that is, wherever men came together. The first saloons were set up in hastily erected tents. The saloons were the workplaces of hardy maidens who had seen a lot in their lives and feared neither God nor the devil. It should be noted that not all saloons were brothels in the literal sense of the word. Many saloons, although they had girls for dancing who sometimes hosted admirers, but they were not considered brothels. In 1850, the population of California, not counting Indians, was 93% male, and the Nevada census in 1860 recorded 2,306 men and 30 women. With this ratio, the demand for girls was very high. In addition, the men in the mines were quite solvent, and therefore any girl of easy behavior was doomed to dizzying success, including commercial. Monthly income of girls in saloons reached up to $200, while the earnings of women at that time was about $50. Girls in search of freedom, money, and a better life often found refuge in saloons where prospectors, hunters, and bandits drank on the first floor. And on the first floor there were rooms for guests, in which putanas served their customers. Often, saloons were kept by fighting mistresses, madams who themselves had gone through the school of life in such a saloon/bordello. Despite the notoriety of saloons, where debauchery, drunkenness, and banditry flourished, many saloon owners left a good reputation. They actively donated money to schools, hospitals, and other charities. There was a hierarchy among the available girls. Particularly popular were the most beautiful women, but also two young workers and owners of red hair. A popular superstition of the time was that women with brown tresses were extremely amorous, and red-haired Jewish women were the most passionate. Some establishments were very poor, but in both, a woman was considered a powerless creature. She could be beaten and even killed, and no one investigated these crimes. Most girls died young, in poverty. Many drank themselves to death or died of substance overdose. Some were brutally murdered by angry customers or other saloon workers. Some died from diseases such as tuberculosis and syphilis, or from abortion, since birth control was primitive and pregnancy seriously interfered with work. A girl in the Wild West could serve more than 80 people a day, a few minutes for each customer. By the early 20th century, the boom in such establishments had subsided. The demographic gap had smoothed out. Law and order was being restored, and brothels, saloons were closing under pressure from the law, the public, and falling demand.